Hey there! Imagine you find yourself among the oldest structures on Earth, ones that most people have never even heard of. Today, you're going to discover a mysterious world of architecture, where every building holds secrets that could change our understanding of the past. We'll see grand temple complexes and even sneak into a hidden underground labyrinth that raises a lot of questions for scientists. But the most amazing thing is that somewhere around here, ordinary cotton can actually communicate with nature. Don't take your eyes off it. There's a lot of intriguing stuff ahead. Derinkuyu, a massive underground city, carved right into the soft volcanic rock, is a complex network of tunnels and rooms spread over at least 8 floors underground, although some studies suggest there may be as many as 20 levels. According to various experts, Derinkuyu could simultaneously shelter up to 20,000 people along with food supplies and livestock. A full-fledged bunker city in case of an unforeseen apocalypse or zombie attack. But in reality, ordinary people live there, and no end of the world ever drove them underground, hiding from inevitable doom. But one of the most impressive features of Derinkuyu is its ventilation system. It's so well designed that even on the lowest levels of the underground, you can breathe just as freely as on the surface. It's amazing how the ancients engineers were able to design such a complex and efficient ventilation system without modern technologies and equipment. And this fact still remains a mystery for scientists and researchers. It's unclear how humanity could have thought through all these details thousands of years ago. Usually the air in such caves is very stuffy, which makes it really tough to live there even for a couple of days. Very interesting achievements of ancient civilization, isn't that right? And the next amazing site is located in Britain, in the northwest of France. It's home to one of the most mysterious places in Europe. Massive fields of megaliths. These vertical stone pillars, arranged in long rows, represent one of the most impressive archaeological finds. There are more than 3 located in the fields, thousands of these stones, which makes them one of the largest collections of such structures in the world. According to scientists, the megaliths were erected during the Neolithic period around 6,000 years ago. This is the time when humanity was just starting to master agriculture and form the first settlements, which gives these megalithic structures a unique historical significance. The stones themselves vary in size from tiny ones, barely reaching 1.5 feet, to impressive 15-foot giants. And the giants. And that raises the question, how did they even get them there? Even scientists have not been able to definitively determine why and how ancient people built these miles of straight rows. Stones. There are several theories. Some believe it was a calendar system that helped track important astronomical events. Others suggest that it was a religious sanctuary or a place of worship. There are also more fantastic hypotheses related to ancient rituals and ceremonies. And this place also has an interesting legend. According to her, the Roman general Merlin turned an entire Roman legion into stones. But, personally, I think that's really true. A fabrication and a legend created to attract more tourists. After all, no evidence has been found to support this. But even so, there are still many questions regarding these stones. And now I'd like to tell you about an even more interesting place. Göbekli Tepe has become a real mystery for scientists, as it is one of the oldest and most enigmatic archaeological sites on Earth. This unique cult complex dates back approximately 12,000 years, making it thousands of years older, like the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge. At the same time, it flips our understanding of the development of early human civilization. The structure of Göbekli Tepe is stunning. It consists of large, T-shaped stone pillars, arranged in circles. These pillars are adorned with bas-reliefs depicting various animals. This once again speaks to the high level of skill and artistic taste of their creators. Some of the pillars reach heights of up to 16 feet and weigh as much as 10 tons. One of the main mysteries of Göbekli Tepe is the question of how hunter-gatherers who lived long ago, before the invention of agriculture or the formation of cities, such complex and large-scale structures could be created. This place challenges the traditional views that only advanced and settled agricultural societies could build large cult complexes. By the way, It's these inconsistencies that make you think about the existence of higher civilizations. At least, there are a ton of conspiracy theories swirling around this place. And one more interesting fact about Göbekli. The TP is that its discoveries and study have led to a major revision. Theories about early human history. Archaeologists and historians have been forced to admit that the organizational abilities and religious views of ancient people were much more complex than previously thought. This place has thrown up too many mysteries and enigmas. Tikal is one of the most mesmerizing archaeological sites in northern Guatemala, in the Petén region. What is this? This site is one of the largest ancient cities of the Maya civilization. It is located where the jungle envelopes the remains of magnificent pyramids, temples, and palaces. And how beautiful does this combination of nature and the monstrous creations of human hands look? This city was founded around the 4th century BC, and the peak of life in this place occurred between the 6th and 9th centuries AD. It was during this time that the city became a true cultural center of the Maya civilization. A.D. It was at this moment that the city became a true cultural center of the Maya civilization. During this period, the city expanded its boundaries and architectural splendor, becoming one of the largest Maya centers of its time. There are more than 3 in Tikal. Thousands of different structures, ranging from small homes to majestic temples. Some of the pyramids reach heights of over 200 feet. One of the most famous and visited areas in Tikal is the Great Plaza, where 2 magnificent temples stand facing each other, across from each other. These 2 temples create a unique and impressive panorama that embodies art and architectural mastery. Mayan, Temple 1, known as the Temple of the Great Jaguaran. Temple 2, or the Temple of the Masks. They are true masterpieces of ancient architecture. Not only do they symbolize religious and cultural significance, but they also serve as examples of sophisticated engineering and construction skills. Maya. I think that thanks to this city, scholars have been able to understand a lot more about the Maya civilization. Next on my list is Borobudur. It's a huge Buddhist temple complex located on the island of Java in the central part of the Magelang region. By the way, it's considered the largest in the whole world. This magnificent architectural structure is built in the shape of a giant mandala. It's an outstanding example of Buddhist architecture and symbolism, which attracts researchers, pilgrims, and tourists from all over the world. Personally, I really love how the whole complex looks. A unique feature of Borobudur is its distinctive structure. The temple consists of 9 levels, 6 square and 3 circular, capping the structure, which symbolizes the Buddhist teaching about the path to enlightenment from the world of suffering to nirvana. On each level, there are hundreds of stupas and statues. The Buddhas, each of which has its own meaning and is aimed at enhancing spiritual reflections and meditations. The temple, standing about 100 feet tall, is adorned with over 2,000 reliefs. They depict various scenes from the life of the Buddha and historical events of that time. These reliefs are not only works of art, but they also serve as religious texts that tell believers about moral and ethical principles. Buddhism. An interesting fact about Borobudur. Centuries after its construction, possibly due to eruptions from nearby volcanoes or social changes, the temple was abandoned and left in ruins. It remained virtually forgotten until the 19th century, when it was rediscovered by Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles, a British colonial administrator, who became intrigued by this lost wonder. Since then, Borobudur has been partially restored and recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And of course, this place attracts a huge number of tourists. I wish I could visit there too. Next, I'd like to tell you about Machu Picchu. This famous Inca city rightfully holds a special place among the archaeological wonders of the world. It's located high in the Andes of Peru at an altitude of about 1.5 miles. And this whole city just drives all the mystery and conspiracy theory lovers crazy. The thing is, the city consists of more than 200 buildings, including temples, palaces, and agricultural terraces that showcase the advanced knowledge of the Incas in architecture, agriculture, and water supply. They created a complex network of water channels that still amazes scientists today. The skillful arrangement of terraces allowed for farming on steep slopes, providing food for the residents of this remote city. One of the mysteries of Machu Picchu is the reason why the city was abandoned. It's still unclear why. Its inhabitants left behind such a well-equipped and protected place that also remained hidden from the Spanish conquistadors. It is believed that Machu Picchu's unique topography and remoteness helped to hide it from the outside world for several centuries, until it was discovered in 1911 by American explorer Hiram Bingham. Since then, Machu Picchu has become one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world, attracting millions of visitors who come to gaze at its grandiose ruins and soak up the beauty of the surrounding landscapes. By the way, this settlement is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. What do you think of this place? Leave your comments. Nan Madol in Micronesia, often referred to as the Venice of the Pacific, has become one of the most unique archaeological sites in the world. This ancient city on the water is built on about 100 artificial islands that are connected by narrow canals. This entire structure is made of massive basalt blocks, creating a stunning picture of ancient engineering artistry. When I first saw pictures of this place, I was just blown away. How on earth did humanity manage to build something like this in ancient times, especially in the middle of the ocean? The thing is, the history of Nan Madol dates back to around the 8th century AD, although the peak of the island's cultural and social development occurred in the 12th century. Dumi, please step back from here. During this period, a complex urban landscape emerged here with megalithic walls and numerous structures, representing an outstanding example of ancient urban planning. One of the most mysterious features of Nan Madol is the technology used to build the walls from huge basalt logs. These stones were quarried elsewhere and then transported by sea to the island, which required colossal effort and organization. Methods by which ancient builders were able not only to transport, but also to lay with precision. Heavy basalt blocks still remain a mystery for scientists and archaeologists. Would you like to visit this place in person? Next on my list is Angkor Wat. It's another massive religious complex located near the city of Siem Reap in Cambodia. Built in the early 12th century during the reign of King Suryavarma II, the temple was originally dedicated to the god Vishnu and served as a Hindu place of worship, but it was later transformed into a Buddhist temple. And I am really amazed by the size of this complex. It covers an area of about 200 hectares. Angkor Wat includes not just the main temple itself, but also a number of adjacent structures, including additional temples, palaces, and water features, each of which is a masterpiece of architectural art. This temple complex is famous for its impressive bas-reliefs depicting mythological scenes from Hindu epics such as the Ramayana and Mahabharata, and also towers symbolizing the sacred mountain Meru, the central axis of the world in Hindu cosmology. The architecture of Angkor Wat amazes not only with its scale and beauty, but also with its amazing geometric precision. The buildings of the complex are oriented strictly according to the cardinal directions, which, according to many scientists, was not an accident. There's a hypothesis that such precise orientation and placement of the structures could serve as a sort of astronomical code. The giant ships were settled by the Bignan ships, which the ancient Khmers used to determine important astronomical dates and events. Well, it's time to wrap things up, so I'll tell you about the last amazing place. Chechen, located on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. It's one of the most significant and impressive archaeological sites associated with the Maya civilization. This ancient city reached its peak around the 10th century AD, and today it's known all over the world thanks to its famous pyramid of Kukulkan, also known as El Castillo. The pyramid of Kukulkan rises to a height of about 100 feet and is the central feature of the architectural ensemble at Chichen Itza. It's remarkable not just for its size and design, but also for its unique astronomical significance. On the days of the spring and autumn equinoxes, a shadow is created along the side faces of the pyramid steps that resembles a crawling snake. This phenomenon attracts thousands of tourists and researchers eager to witness this magnificent spectacle. I'm really drawn to and fascinated by this fact as well. Honestly, I've never been to Mexico, but I would really love to. The Chichen Itza site also has other significant structures, including a ball court, which was an important part of the cultural and religious practices of the Maya, the sacred cenote, which was used for sacrifices, and even the observatory called Caracol, showcasing the advanced astronomical knowledge of the ancient Maya. All of this really grabs the attention of scientists and tourists. And one of the most amazing aspects of Chichen Itza is the acoustic effect at the foot of the Kukulkan pyramid. If you clap your hands while standing in front of the steps of the pyramid, the echo will be reflected. Thus, it sounds extremely powerful, reminiscent of the cry of Quetzal, the sacred bird of the Mayans. This phenomenon still leaves tourists and scientists baffled. How could they have calculated all the geometric shapes so precisely to distort sound so powerfully? It's also unclear and mysterious. All these ancient structures amaze the imagination in their own way, whether by their size, or their multi-thousand-year history, or their ultra-precise architecture. They just don't fit into our understanding of primitive technologies from the past. What do you think of these structures? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know if you'd like to see a continuation. Well, I just want to point out again that even a few thousand years ago, there could have been professionals who built all these structures. By the way, speaking of professionals, hey friends, you have the chance to join our team. If you have video editing skills, you can voice over videos in Russian, English, and other languages. Or do you write interesting scripts? We would be happy to work with you. Message the bot on Telegram. The link is in the description. And thank you for watching.